Metal to the Masses final at Riverside in Selby, and I'm with the Immortal. How you guys doing?
We're alright, man, we're alright. It's a lovely day.
Fantastic.
Well, I say the sun's shining.
Yeah. Great day for a barbecue that they didn't put on. I meant to. I need a feed.
Celebrating Metal to the Masses. How's it been?
It's been alright, yeah. We've had some lineup problems coming into the competition. We're trying to get a stable lineup together. We got through the first heat, and then after that, our current vocalist at that time left. So Toby, our vocalist, had to learn our songs in a few weeks, and his first gig was actually the semi-final at Metal to Masses, and we got through. So awesome, Toby. Done a cracking job, haven't you, lad?
What time took for a band member to do that? Like,
What
time for a band member to sort of like decide?
It happens.
You get dropped into it, but you know, deal with things. Better off now, I think.
Got a stronger lineup now than we've ever had. We decided to bring in a vocalist that can do clean singing as well as screaming and rough vocals, so it's added a lot of dynamic, and we're able to bring out a lot of melody now in our music where previously we wasn't able to. So it's nice to sort of step out of breakdown sort of style scene music and go into something a lot more elaborate.
We've got a little bit of an issue with kind of the way that the British metal scene currently is kind of going. It seems to be very kind of involved with haircuts and the way that you look rather than the actual sound of the music and the originality of the music. It's all very well and good sounding like Iron Maiden or sounding like Metallica, but there are 100 other bands in the UK that sound like Iron Maiden or sound like Metallica. So originality is where we're kind of trying to drag things. You know, there are a lot of singers out there that are very happy, and rightly so, to just scream all of their lyrics, but we want to kind of shake it up a little bit and try and put some melody back into some metal.
We don't really class us as one genre, do we?
No.
It's like a mixture of all that. We're not deathcore, we're not metalcore, we're not death metal, not melodic death metal, just metal. Just
We're influenced by everything from Toto right through to death metal, you know, so everything goes in there.
I think that's one of the issues which we have within the industry itself. There's the metal umbrella, then there's so many genres underneath it, and a journalist's job, especially from the likes of, say, Kerrang and Metal Hammer or some of the big even US magazines, their job is to slam you into a subgenre and pigeonhole you into that genre.
I think that's quite oppressive, really, isn't it? And then a lot of bands, be the powers that be above them, are then made to play in that genre. To sort of lose that originality and you know, which they will have gained on the unsigned scene. I mean, the bands that have entered Metal to the Masses this year, particularly here at Selby, have been phenomenal. You know,
the other bands that are in this final are unbelievable.
We've seen so many good bands.
So many good bands.
I mean, coming not just our heats, I mean, we've all made a habit of coming to gigs in other heats as well, and the standard of music at the minute locally is really high, so...
Local scene around here is pretty good.
Well, you never think about sort of the vast array of music that's around it. I mean, a lot of bands you see sort of, they start out and they think we should play this genre, we should be this genre, and that's how they go, and they instantly pigeonhole themselves before they've even written the song or written the riff. It becomes, when you get bands that start elaborating on that and think, we'll write something that people won't necessarily like in a larger group, but we'll write it because that's what we want to write, and we'll write it because we like that. That's when you get bands that are really good, but don't generally have a big following. But the bands that do have a big following, they're like, oh, they sound like that band, or they sound like that band that's made it big, and it's like, it's terrible at the same time, you know.
So how did you guys get together? Obviously, you sort of like
newest kid at school,
Oscar?
I came into the band in January because I just saw a post from Alex looking for a drummer, and I just stepped up and I just said, oh, do you want me to do it? Came to audition, and then
we wrote Peer Points.
Yeah, we wrote our actual
main song.
Yeah,
our release
our song that we play at the end of our set. Me and Alex actually wrote that on my first practice. Obviously tweaked it around when we got the full band together and all that. Well, for a while we didn't actually have a bassist, did we?
No.
Tom at like the back end of March.
We did, yeah.
Well, I'd originally auditioned as a vocalist, and I'd been watching this band since it started off with like a completely different line, apart from Alex, who's been here since like time started. Not that I'm saying that you're old out there, but I'd like sort of watched this band sort of grow and how its style had changed and how they got into this sort of style of music. And then I originally auditioned as a vocalist, and then didn't get in because the vocalist that like left in the first heat. Came back in, and then he said, "Oh, do you play bass?" And I'm like, "I did play bass." And, I played bass in a few bands in the past, and I just joined, and it went from there, and it sort of just evolved into this line, and that's how it went. And
it's been a slow evolution into this line, rather than kind of the standard. We're a bunch of friends and let's all get together and we'll write some music together. It's been more kind of somebody with an idea who's then kind of gone out and cherry picked who he wants to kind of, so it's kind of worked backwards. We weren't all friends and then made the band. We were all kind of musicians and then we've become friends over the last month or so, which has been really interesting. It's been a really good ride.
We are actually a member down tonight as well.
We are. Our lead player's on holiday. So thank you, Adam, by the way. Miss you.
Means a lot.
Adam, if they get through Bloodstock,
You're not playing.
you're not going to be there.
He'll be sunning it up, having a mojito or something like that. He's alright. I think from my perspective, the way that this band's put together, like Toby said, I cherry-picked the best musicians in Yorkshire. Toby is the best singer I've ever worked with. His range is incredible. He could do anything from really, really clear cleans like Corey Taylor right through to the older 80s and that stuff, and then he could do Mitch Looker sort of high screams. So Oscar,
my penis away now.
Oscar is a phenomenal drummer. He's only just turned 18. He had his advanced drumming certificate, and he comes from South Yorkshire, Doncaster area. Tom comes from East Yorkshire. I'm from West Yorkshire. We should just sort of thrown ourselves into a pot, and we get along really well, luckily, and things are starting to click. Our lead player, Adam Welsh, he's from Doncaster as well. He's a phenomenal lead player.
Oh, he's unbelievable.
He's absolutely unbelievable. I spend more time arguing with him than I do at Mandy's playing bass. He's really good. We have a lot of confrontation over riffs and stuff. So yeah, it's worked really well, and like I say, it made me mock split up. I was the last member left, and with Oscar and Adam's help, I kept it going, and here we are. So happy days.
And the good thing about obviously the Out to the Masses is if you guys get through and play Bloodstock, obviously the competition doesn't stop there as well.
Yeah.
So you've got the likes of going on to Wacken, you've got Metal Bank. There's so much more opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Festivals that we've looked at when we were young and dreamt about, like Wacken. You look at that festival and you just see the hordes of metalheads, and you just like, it's Mecca for people that listen to that sort of music. So to have that as a prize when you win is just
Bloodstock as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
It's such a good festival as well. It's such a sort of pure festival. I mean, it's not it's not trying to accommodate various genres. I recently went to Download, and it was sort of, you felt like they were trying to accommodate various people that went. Like they thought we'd get that band in because that like sort of genre of people would like that, and that band would get that sort of thing. I mean, you had people like loads of different metalheads turn up for Maiden, and Rammstein the next day, and all these German folk that had come down like on the day, like we'd just randomly come down. But then you had like sort of really new and up and coming bands that had also just appeared, but loads of these people that come, so you got such a vast array of people, which was sort of cool in its way. But Bloodstock's very sort of pure. It's not trying to accommodate to people. It's people that will like that music will go to that festival. It's just
like if you like proper metal, you go to Bloodstock.
And there's so many good bands on, isn't there? From King Diamond right through to Lamb of God. Do you know what I mean? Some of the heroes that I certainly listened to when growing up, King Diamond, wow, what a voice.
Absolutely.
So it's really good.
It's the whole atmosphere, it's not just, as you know, the likes of Download, or Songsphere, you had a certain age range, With Bloodstock, it's a complete family.
Definitely.
Well, like about Bloodstock, I've been a few times. You go down there, and it is a lot different from download. Everyone's obviously really cool like they are download, but it's like you're there and everything that's done is so hard, and the music's on, it's always really hard, heavy, heartfelt sort of, you know, and you come back feeling knackered, bones broken, but it's a great festival.
It feels great.
So many of my heroes have played that festival, you know, and, like In Flames and bands like that in recent years. It would be a dream come true, really.
They're actually a massive influence for me.
Yeah, massive influence by In Flames. I think they're really good. The way they mix melody and heaviness and vocal melody, it's just, you know, gets me going anyway.
So in regards to your music, have you got anything out on like your Facebook page or
we do have a demo out at the minute on our Facebook page. That was with our old vocalist. It's called Return. We've called it Pure Point to Watch now because Toby's coming and rewrote it. But we have, and just as recent as yesterday, we are recording an EP as we speak. We've got some management from USA, Hardcore Showcase. Thanks for all the help, mate. Riff Media round here, which are a local promoter, he does a lot for us, and we're just trying to get out an EP that we're really proud of. You know, Oscar.
Yeah, we started recording it last month, didn't we? We just got the drums down, we got the rhythm and bass down yesterday. So all we've got left to do is get Adam when he's back to do his leads.
When he's back.
Yeah, when he's back.
We're going to kill him.
Yeah, so by sort of beginning of August, we should have 4 tracks. Current lineup, fairly polished, sounding hopefully we can release out there and get some attention.
Just hearing it yesterday, I mean, it was barely mixed yesterday, just listening to the drums and then Alex's guide track, and the engineer we're working with is so talented in the way he's doing it. The sound is cracking. I mean, listening to, like, thinking back to the earlier stuff that my first release recording, like, the guitarist at the time was sort of, he did a bit of recording and all that, and listening to that and then in comparison to how things are sounding now at the early stages, it is a massive transition between the two things. I mean, even our styles changed slightly.
Yeah.
I mean, by way of promotional material, if anybody is interested in hearing what we sound like, YouTube, we've got a couple of kind of studio vlogs that we've got going at the minute. So they're the things that we're directing people towards. In the meantime, with the EP getting released, just channeling people towards watching our antics in the studio rather than listening to us.
So we got lost yesterday.
So in regards to the release of the EP, now would you prefer, obviously a lot is done by download, iTunes, Amazon these days, but would you prefer on download the good old vinyl, CD or cassette, which is making a comeback as well?
I'm an absolute vinyl hound. Like I hunt vinyl on the weekend. That's my hobby. So if we could get just the one vinyl, would be fine. Just as long as I can have one, I'm all right. But yeah, vinyl would be interesting because I think vinyl is definitely making a comeback, and I think it's a chance. If we were talking about marketing, it's a chance to be able to market something that we might be able to charge a little bit more than a £5 for, or a little bit more than £6 or £7 for. Get £20 for a vinyl, which is a good piece of media to be able to sell to people, so I'd like to be able to do that. Hard copies are always good for flogging at gigs because people like digital's nice, it's zeros and ones, isn't it? It's, you know, we want a hard copy, and so we'd like to do the download route just purely because we have people in America and whoever else that will want to be able to give us some money.
For local as well,
hard copies.
It's like the crossover as well. I was researching, like, you can get vinyl printed, but then I thought that you could put like a little code in it as well, so you bought the vinyl, you got the physical copy, but then you have like a little code as well, so you download the song.
I just bought Dr. Dre's 2001 and it has the exact same thing.
You've got the physical copy, it's there, you can you can play it or whatever, but then you got the digital copy, you can put it on your iPod, you can walk off, get on the bus, listen to it, beat people up on the bus as you go. It'd just be nice to have that sort of crossover. It is digital has sort of robbed the world of that sort of having the physical copy then. I mean, if I do really like an album, I will buy it physically, but it's nice to download it as well, just to sort of,
have it on immediately.
Yeah, it's sort of what side of the coin you sit on, really, isn't it?
Well guys, I'd like to thank you so much for taking time out and chat with us. best of luck for tonight on the stage. We're looking forward to seeing you take to the stage. It'll be the first time for us.
Yeah.
We would have got a chance to see you perform.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Doing this interview as well.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the bands that run. There's some good bands on
Oh, yeah.
tonight.
Cheers.
Dead